Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. In this episode, we're going to do a detailed interior tour of the Ferrari 360 Modena. If you're new to the channel, thanks for stopping by. I really hope you enjoy it. And if you like this kind of content with my own cars, a Ferrari 360 Modena and two AMG Mercedes, it would be great to have you as a subscriber. So in this video, we're going to do an interior tour of the Ferrari 360. So this car first came out in 1999, so over 20 years ago. And this really harks back to an earlier era of cars before multimedia screens and touch controls and all these electronic gadgets started to dominate the cockpit. So it's very much an analog car, and that's one of the things I really like about it. So grab yourself a coffee, sit back and enjoy. So in this video we're going to do an interior review of the 360. As I said, the 360 is very much an analog supercar. It's from the 1990s designs, and the interior and the cockpit really reflect those times. It doesn't have any touch screens, no touch buttons, no complex electronics. It's really a very manual and analog supercar. So in this video we're going to go through all the features in the cabin and the cockpit so that you get a feel for what it's like inside one of these beautiful Ferrari 360 Modenas. So the doors are opened using these little handles here. I love the way that they extend into the air intake here, just continuing that oval shape. I think that's a really nice design feature. This is one of the things that often fails in 360s. They have a cable inside which connects to the door mechanism, and that can often fail. One of the things I need to get done on my car is the door stays, which are not present, so they need to be fixed. Your door handles are here with a locking button in the middle. This should have some stenciling on it to say lock, I think. I'm not sure whether you can push that down to lock it or whether you should be able to or not. I think you can. Yeah, I think that does work. Nicely trimmed with leather here. We've got contrasting stitching. Got a little speaker in the corner there and a main speaker lower down. This is obviously finished in a kind of stainless steel brushed finish or brushed aluminium with a door pocket down there which has quite a bit of space. You've got your nice Ferrari kick plates there, and here is your access to the rear opening for the engine cover, and that just pops the engine cover open. We'll just use that as an excuse to have another look at this beautiful Ferrari V8 engine. It's really a work of art, needs a bit of a clean. This crackle finish needs to be cleaned up a bit, but it is so simply laid out. You can see where everything goes. You start with your air intake here, goes through your MAF sensors and your throttle bodies to your air intake plenums, and then you can just see the top of the V's are down there, really low down, keep that low center of gravity. So just a beautiful piece of engineering. And obviously that's the Capristo exhaust right there. And great to be able to see it through the glass of the back. So climbing into the car, we start off with a row of switches down here. This is your stability control off. You've got fog lights there. You've got a heated rear window there. This is your switch for sport mode. That basically sharpens the throttle response and the dampers and speeds up the gear shifts. This is your immobilizer warning light. The immobilizers in the Ferrari 360 are a bit challenging, so they're always, it's very easy to, I still manage to start it without having switched off the immobilizer, so a little bit annoying there. Two little buttons here, unlabeled. I don't know whether they should be labeled. The one on the right changes the kilometers display to a trip counter. Push and hold to reset. And the left one puts the outside temperature up on the central display in the gauge cluster. So beautiful Ferrari logo in the middle of the steering wheel there. Horn buttons are actually on the side here where your thumbs go. So just looking at the gauge cluster there, you've got the speedo on the right with the mileage indicator there, and if I push it that gives a trip counter, and this puts up the outside temperature in the central gauge cluster. Then we've got obviously the large central tachometer with the gear indicator at the top. We've got 3 smaller dials. We have the water temperature on the left. Up at the top we've got the oil temperature, and below that oil pressure. Below this you have your warning light indicators, and as you will see, the constant glow of the check engine light, which is something quite trivial, so I haven't bothered to fix it. On this side of the steering wheel you have the down paddles. These are beautiful paddles connected to the steering column so they stay fixed. We've got our indicators and lights on this stalk here. You've got an adjustment under here for the steering wheel position. Coming over to this side we have the up paddle and this control for the windscreen wipers and headlamp washers. You've got your ignition key here, traditional, none of this keyless entry nonsense in this car, very analog. Beautiful leather stitched dash with the contrast stitching. This one needs a little bit of conditioning, a little bit of feeding with some leather treatment just to soften it up a bit. It's a common problem with these cars that the dash gets stretched and slightly wrinkled. So that's pretty much it for your main driving position. We've got 3 climate control vents here. Your window switches are either side of the radio head unit. This is an aftermarket head unit that I've put in. The original one is a Becker unit. I've still got that at home, obviously. You've got your climate controls down here, fan, auto, and 1, 2, 3, and 4 positions. That's off, temperature control here, and then the air direction here, automatic is there. This one is for recirculating. Stop just stops everything. So just press that if you don't want your air conditioning on, just stop there. Down here we have the F1 gear selector. So this selector is for reverse. You pull it up and back to engage reverse gear. It's kind of sweet little thing. You can engage in auto mode. It's not on by default, which is good because it's not an automatic gearbox. It is a manual gearbox, which just happens to have an automatic function if you want. I actually got this wrong while I was making the video. This actually engages a low grip mode, which starts the car off in 2nd gear and changes up sooner in revs. Coming further down, we've got hazard warning lights, parking light, and this is your left and right mirror adjustment here. Here we've got a little ashtray here with those lovely little badges. We've got a Ferrari badge there and Pininfarina crossed flags. Then a 12-volt socket in there. Manual handbrake, obviously. So under this little cover here, we've got 2 more switches. That's for the front trunk release, and that's for the petrol cap release. Behind that, there's a little storage cubby here with a whole load of junk in it, and my OBD dongle there to reset the permanent check engine light. Across the back, there's a little bit of space behind the seats to maybe put some small bags if you were traveling. You've got a net here. I'm not sure what those are for. I think that's for the straps for the luggage. I think this car was ordered with the luggage that is made to fit in this space, and there's straps that go over. Shame they didn't come with the car, because that would have been lovely. And then of course you've got the view through the back window into the engine compartment. Over your other shoulder, you've got this kind of weird area here, which is just like a little quarter light window, leather trimmed all around there, of course, which is beautiful. Over this side, we've got the nice 360 Modena lettering there on the glove box, and just opening that, it's kind of a soft open. A reasonable amount of room just for bits and pieces, not huge. And then on this side we have the Ferrari Champions of the World 2000 in Formula One. Passenger door, very similar obviously to the driver's door. So in the footwell here we have obviously the accelerator and brake in a nice metal finish. I've got a kick plate off to the right there and a place to rest your clutch foot on the left. In the passenger footwell there's I've got my charger connection there, and also there's another nice foot plate there for the passenger. Now the seats are in this car, they're electric, that was an option, and they have this kind of design with the two halves here and the banding. That's what's called a Daytona style seat, and again that's another option you see with the same contrast stitching as on the dash and doors. We've got the Ferrari logo embossed into the headrest there. There we go. Can also move the seats forward to get a bit more access to the rear panel there. We've got a manual lumbar support control there. So just very simple seat controls there. We've got for our backrest and to move the seat base forward and back, and I think we can go up and down as well. Yep. So yeah, there's quite a good range of motion there. So yeah, those are really nice seats, very well bolstered. A little bit of wear there which I'll need to deal with at some point. So that is essentially the inside of a Ferrari 360. So thanks very much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed that interior tour of the 360. I'm sure you'll agree it's an interesting place to be. It's a real contrast from obviously modern supercars and modern cars in general, but it has a charm and desirability which really make this a modern classic Ferrari. So thanks very much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did enjoy it, don't forget to smash that like. It'd be great to have you as a subscriber and hit that notification bell. You can follow me on Instagram down here, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye for now.